That little brown bottle your grandmother kept in the kitchen cabinet was not just sitting there for decoration, it was one of the most feared bottles in the whole house. And if you grew up around old black women, you already know exactly what I am talking about. Castor oil. Before there were wellness influencers, before every store had a whole aisle full of gut health powders, hair growth oils, skin repair creams, detox teas, and expensive constipation remedies, many black grandmothers had one plain bottle tucked behind the flour, the tea bags, the baking soda, and that old jar of Vicks. And when she reached for that bottle, everybody in the house knew something was about to happen. Somebody's stomach was backed up, somebody's scalp was too dry, somebody's skin was cracking, somebody's joints were stiff, or somebody had been walking around looking heavy, tired, and off for too many days in a row. But here is the part nobody talks about. That bottle was not magic, and Grandma did not keep it because she thought it cured everything. She kept it because she watched the body. She watched the bathroom habits, the skin, the hairline, the appetite, the way somebody walked after dinner, the way somebody breathed after climbing stairs, and the way the body started whispering before it started screaming. My name is Ms.Loretta, and around here we open the cabinet, remember the old ways, and talk about what the body may be trying to tell us. Today, we are talking about why black grandmothers kept castor oil in the kitchen cabinet, why so many families trusted that little bottle, what they got right, what people today get dangerously wrong, and why you should never use old remedies without understanding the rules. Now listen closely, because this is not one of those videos telling you castor oil cures every disease, melts belly fat, grows all your hair back, or fixes whatever the internet is selling this week. No, baby, we are not doing that over here. This is about old wisdom, modern caution, and learning how to pay attention before your body makes you pay for ignoring it. It is 1964. And there is a black grandmother standing in a warm kitchen early in the morning before the house is fully awake. The coffee is already on, the skillet is still warm. Somebody's school clothes are laid over the chair, and that screen door has already slammed twice because children never knew how to close anything softly. In that kitchen cabinet, she has everything she thinks a home needs to survive the week: baking soda, vinegar, tea, salt, pepper, flour, maybe a jar of molasses, maybe some Epsom salt somewhere nearby, a little petroleum jelly, and that bottle of castor oil sitting in the back like it owned the place. Nobody had to explain what it was. You learned by watching. If Grandma pulled out sugar, something sweet was coming. If she pulled out flour, somebody was about to eat. If she pulled out Vicks, somebody was coughing. But if she pulled out castor oil, baby, the whole mood changed. That was not a snack. That was not a treat. That was business. And what made old black grandmothers different was not just what they kept in the cabinet, it was how closely they watched everybody in the house. They knew when you were not eating right. They knew when you had not been drinking water. They knew when you were moving slow. They knew when your face looked dull. They knew when your stomach was bothering you before you even said it out loud. And that is the first lesson in this video. The real power was never just in the bottle, it was in the watching. Today, folks will ignore swollen feet for weeks, ignore constipation for months, ignore dry, cracked skin, ignore scalp problems, ignore stomach pain, ignore fatigue after meals, and then say it is just age. But the old folks did not call everything age. They called some things a warning. The first reason black grandmothers kept castor oil in the kitchen cabinet is because they believed the stomach told the truth. Now, I know some people get uncomfortable when we talk about bathroom habits, but we are grown over here. And if you are over 50, you need to stop acting shy about the body you have to live in. Old school women paid attention to whether people were going to the bathroom because they believed if the stomach was backed up, the whole person could be off. A child moving slow, an older man sitting around looking miserable, a woman saying she felt heavy after eating, somebody not having an appetite, somebody holding their stomach after Sunday dinner. Grandma noticed all of that. Castor oil was one of the old things many families used when they believed the bowels needed to move, and yes, taken by mouth, castor oil can work as a strong laxative. But here is where modern people mess up. Strong does not always mean safe, and old does not always mean harmless. Castor oil can cause cramping, diarrhea, nausea, dizziness, and weakness if a person uses too much or uses it the wrong way. And if somebody has serious stomach pain, vomiting, swelling, blood, fever, or constipation that keeps coming back, that is not a moment to play old remedy games. That is a moment to call a doctor. Grandma may have trusted that bottle, but she also knew when something looked wrong. And some of us today need that same sense back, because if your body keeps getting backed up, the answer is not to force it again and again. The question is, why is this happening? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough fiber? Are you sitting all day? Did a medication change? Are you ignoring a condition? Are you eating heavy food and never moving afterward? The bottle may move the body once, but it does not fix the reason the body keeps getting stuck. Here is what your grandmother understood that modern life made people forget. The body needs rhythm. Eating, moving, drinking water, sleeping, using the bathroom, washing, oiling the skin, caring for the scalp, checking the feet, all of that used to be part of daily life. Today, people wake up tired, drink coffee before water, eat something fast, sit for hours, snack late, go to bed with a heavy stomach, wake up stiff, and then wonder why the body feels like it is fighting back. Old Black grandmothers may not have used fancy words, but they understood routine. They did not always know the science, but they knew patterns. If you ate heavy and sat down too long, you felt heavy. If you never drank water, your body showed it. If your skin stayed dry, it cracked. If your scalp stayed neglected, it got sore. If you ignored constipation, you felt miserable. If you never moved after meals, the body got sluggish. So when they kept castor oil in the cabinet, it was part of a bigger system of household care. It was not the whole system. That is where people online go wrong. They want one bottle to replace discipline. They want one oil to replace movement. They want one old remedy to replace food, water, rest, and medical care. But Grandma did not live like that. She had rules. She had routines. She had timing. She had common sense. And if she were here today, she would probably tell some of y'all, baby, you do not need to run to that bottle first. You need to stop eating so late, drink some water, walk after dinner, and stop ignoring your body. The second reason many Black grandmothers kept castor oil around is because dry skin and dry hair were not allowed to run wild in the house. Let me tell you something. Old Black women did not play about being ashy. You were not walking into school, church, the grocery store, or even out on the porch with dry elbows and cracked knees if somebody who loved you could see it. They would call you over quick, rub something on your skin, and send you back out looking like you belonged to somebody. Castor oil was thick, heavy, and oily. So many families used it on dry spots, rough heels, elbows, knuckles, and sometimes around the scalp or edges. Now we need to be honest, oil can help seal in moisture and soften dry areas, but it is not a miracle cure. If your feet are cracked open, if you have diabetes, if you have sores that will not heal, if your skin is red, swollen, infected, or painful, you do not just rub oil on it and hope for the best. You get that checked. And when it comes to hair, yes, a lot of Black families used castor oil on the scalp and edges, and many people still love it today. But Auntie is not going to sit here and tell you it magically grows everybody's hair back. Hair loss can come from tight styles, hormones, age, stress, medication, scalp disease, nutrient issues, and more. Oil can help with dryness for some people, but if the hair is falling out in
Bla,
patches,
bas
if the
kemsing a
scalp is
firmer hel
soiled,
intem
or if
tens
the
within
edges are
flam hepim
disappearing,
and mar ha the
find out
dale.
why. That is what Grandma would want if she had the information we have now. She would not want you rubbing oil on a warning sign for 2 years while the real problem gets worse. Now this is the part of the video I need you to really hear, because this is where old wisdom can become dangerous when people do not understand the rules. Do not take castor oil by mouth just because somebody online told you it cleanses the body. Do not take it for weight loss. Do not take it every day because you think that means you are detoxing. Do not give it to children casually. Do not take it if you are pregnant unless a doctor is involved. Do not take it if you have serious stomach pain, vomiting, bowel problems, or symptoms you do not understand. And if you are over 50 and on medication, dealing with blood pressure issues, diabetes, kidney problems, heart issues, dehydration, or chronic constipation, talk to a doctor or pharmacist before you start playing around with strong laxatives. I know people love to say natural is safe, but poison ivy is natural too, and you are not rubbing that on your face. Natural means it came from nature. It does not mean your body needs it. That is why Auntie's health cabinet is going to tell the truth. Some old remedies had wisdom behind them, some had limits, and some need to be handled very carefully today. Castor oil may have had its place in old households, but if you use it wrong, it can leave you cramped, weak, dehydrated, or worse. And baby, there is nothing wise about hurting yourself trying to prove Grandma was right. Grandma was not trying to hurt you. Grandma was trying to care for what she understood. Now it is our job to add what we know today. So why did this little bottle become so famous in Black households? Because it worked fast enough for people to remember it, scared children enough for them to never forget it, and sat in the cabinet long enough to become part of family history. But underneath the jokes, there is something deeper. Castor oil reminds us of a time when the home had to be ready. Black women had to do a lot with a little. They had to stretch meals, stretch money, stretch medicine, stretch patience, and stretch their own bodies through work that nobody clapped for. That kitchen cabinet was not just a cabinet. It was a survival shelf. It held what the family could afford, what the family trusted, and what the women before them had passed down. When Miss Alberta kept castor oil in her cabinet, she was not trying to be trendy. She was trying to be prepared. If somebody's stomach was off, she had something. If somebody's skin was dry, she had something. If somebody's scalp needed attention, she had something. If somebody looked like they were not themselves, she started watching. That is the spirit we need to bring back. Not fear of doctors, not blind trust in every old remedy, not internet foolishness dressed up like tradition. We need prepared homes, watched bodies, better questions, and a little more respect for the women who noticed everything. Because a lot of what they did was not about the product. It was about paying attention while there was still time. So what should you do with this information today? First, if you have castor oil in your house, respect it. Do not treat it like candy. Do not treat it like a cure-all. Read the label. Ask a pharmacist. Ask your doctor if you are not sure. Second, if you are dealing with constipation, do not only ask what can make me go, ask why am I not going? Look at your water, your food, your fiber, your movement, your medication, your stress, and how long this has been happening. Third, if your skin is dry, especially your feet, do not ignore cracks, pain, wounds, or changes in color. Moisture matters, but medical problems need medical care. Fourth, if your hair or edges are thinning, stop blaming yourself and find the cause. Oil may help dryness, but it cannot fix every root problem. Fifth, bring back the habit of watching your body. Check your feet. Notice your bathroom routine. Notice swelling. Notice dizziness. Notice pain that keeps returning. Notice what happens after certain meals. Notice what your body does when you sit all day. Notice what changes after you walk. That is the real cabinet wisdom. The bottle is just the symbol. The real remedy is attention. Now, I want you to think about your grandmother's kitchen cabinet. Maybe it had castor oil. Maybe it had Vicks. Maybe it had baking soda, ginger, vinegar, peppermint, Epsom salt, or something wrapped in a paper bag that nobody was allowed to touch. Whatever was in there, I want you to remember the woman who kept it there. Remember her hands. Remember her voice. Remember how she could look at you and know something was off. Remember how she cared, even if she did not always say it soft. And then ask yourself, am I watching my body the way she watched mine? Because that is the part we cannot afford to lose. The body whispers before it screams. Your grandmother knew that. She may not have said it in those words, but she lived like it. So yes, many Black grandmothers kept castor oil in the kitchen cabinet, but the real reason was bigger than the bottle. They kept it because they believed the home should be ready, the body should be watched, and small problems should not be ignored until they become big ones. Now go down in the comments and tell me, did your grandmother, mother, auntie, or somebody in your family keep castor oil in the house? What did they use it for? Do not give medical advice, just tell the memory. Somebody reading your comment may remember something their family almost forgot. And if you want more old school health wisdom with modern caution, subscribe to Auntie's Health Cabinet. My name is Ms.Loretta, and next time we are going to talk about the old walking rule Black elders followed after dinner and why sitting down too fast after a heavy meal may be one of the habits modern life made worse. Until then, drink your water, watch your body, call the doctor when something does not feel right, and remember this, our elders were not always old-fashioned. Sometimes they were paying attention.